What's scarier, fighting a giant sea serpent on screen, or completely humiliating yourself in front of a room full of casting directors? Because for the stars of Percy Jackson, the real terror didn't come from monsters, gods, or quests. It came from the moments they never expected to talk about, the auditions that went horribly wrong, the fan encounters that crossed every boundary, and the behind-the-scenes stories that prove fame at a young age isn't as magical as it looks. Let's start with Walker Scobell. Everyone knows him as the brave, quick-witted Percy Jackson, the kid who can take on furies and minotaurs without blinking. But rewind a few years, and you wouldn't believe what this same kid was dealing with. He walks into a Nickelodeon audition thinking it'll be easy. He's memorized the lines in the car, he's ready to charm, he's got it all under control. Except he doesn't. The second he steps into the room, every line he practiced disappears. Total blackout. And then comes the twist he never prepared for. They ask him to sing. He didn't bring a song. He didn't even think he'd be asked. Panic hits. And in a moment of pure chaos, Walker blurts out a Queen song, one of the hardest bands to sing on Earth. And it goes horribly. Not slightly bad. Not that was rough. No. This was catastrophic. He said straight up. He didn't get the role. At all. And honestly, it's kind of comforting to know the future Percy Jackson once melted down in front of Nickelodeon producers. But that embarrassing moment was only the beginning. Real life was about to get way stranger. Because then you have Aryan Simhadri, who plays Grover, dealing with a fan encounter so bizarre, so uncomfortable, it sounds like something out of a nightmare. He's out minding his business when a group of drunk college girls spot him. At first, he tries to escape the chaos by giving them a fake name. Good idea until he feels guilty and admits who he really is. That's when everything goes downhill. Suddenly, he's surrounded by about 40 drunk girls losing their minds. And one of them decides to take things to a level nobody would want. As Aryan's standing there with his hands in his back pockets, just trying to protect his space, this girl reaches around and puts her hand into his pocket, on top of his hand, in the same tiny pocket, and she lingers. It's the kind of story you have to laugh at later, but when he said it, you could tell it freaked him out. And he made a pretty clear PSA afterward. Please don't do that. Don't put your hands in my pockets. Honestly, that shouldn't even need to be said. But apparently it does. But Walker wasn't about to let Aryan win the contest for most disturbing real-life moment. Because his next story, it's the kind of thing that stays with you forever. He's 10 years old, just a kid, and he's in Los Angeles when a Spider-Man street performer recognizes him. Sounds harmless, right? Except the Spider-Man is wearing half of his Miles Morales suit, only halfway pulled up, and he decides it's a great idea to follow Walker into the bathroom. Not just tap him for a photo, not just wave from the doorway. No. He actually walks into the bathroom after a 10-year-old just to get a picture. Walker said it's 100% true, and the way he describes it, you can feel how weird, how wrong, how unsettling it was. And it's a reminder that even young actors get put into situations they should never deal with. Monsters on screen are fun. Weird grown adults in bathrooms? Not so much. But Aryan has his own brand of intensity. Because at one point, during a rehearsal for a stage production, he tore open the skin on his calf. Blood running down, pain shooting through his leg, and he just kept going. No flinching. No breakdown. Just pure determination. He said moments like that prepared him for filming Percy Jackson, because Season 2 didn't go easy on anyone. If anything, it pushed the cast physically harder than ever. And Aryan wasn't joking when he said Season 2 is a lot wetter. These kids have been drenched almost every day for nearly 2 years. Rain machines, water tanks, ocean sequences, you name it. They've been soaked through more times than a shipwreck survivor. And yet they're proud of it. They talk about putting blood, sweat, and tears into the show, and honestly, they mean it literally. Real injuries, real bruises, real exhaustion, but also real passion. Their hard work paid off in a huge way. The first season exploded, landing in the top 5 most-watched original shows across all streaming platforms. The fan base was massive. The response was wild. And the best part? Disney Plus renewed them early for Season 3, meaning the cast will dive into the Titan's curse after surviving the chaos of the Sea of Monsters storyline. But behind the excitement, something else has been bubbling. There's a whole wave of online chatter, rumors, speculation, debates about whether the cast is too young, too goofy, or too inexperienced. Some fans think they're miscast, others defend them fiercely, and the discussions get spicy. But here's the key part. It's all just noise online. Opinions. Speculation. People who've never been on a set judging kids who are literally doing stunts in freezing water for 12 hours a day. So while everyone argues on TikTok, these actors are out there bleeding for the story. Literally. And that's the part people forget. They're teenagers. Teenagers who deal with school, social media pressure, overwhelming fame, and then go fight CGI monsters for the rest of the day. They'll talk about getting mobbed by fans, or nearly tackled by dogs on the set of The Adam Project, or slipping into giant wedding dresses for Season 2's more comedic scenes. They're still growing up while the entire world watches. And every now and then, they let us see the reality behind the fantasy, the strange moments, the uncomfortable ones, and the ones that shape them. So when you break it down, who's actually got it harder? Percy Jackson battling a Hydra on screen? Or Aryan dealing with 40 drunk fans and a rogue hand in his back pocket? Or Walker being chased into a bathroom by a half-dressed Spider-Man? Honestly, the monsters might have been the easier part. But now I want to know what you think. Which story shocked you the most? Which moment made you cringe? And which one do you think they'll never live down? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more wild behind-the-scenes stories from Hollywood's biggest young stars, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.